The following podcast is intended for slightly mature audiences.
If you're under 18, please ask a parent or guardian for permission to listen.
I gonked your weeb that weebed my waha.
Wait, excuse me?
Oh, yeah. You weren't there for last night's conversation.
I was not.
No, that is literally shit we said on Gaia.
I never said that, to be honest.
I gonked your weeb that weebed my waha.
Was this like in our OGG guild?
Yes, it was the emoticons.
Oh my god, who signed in last night?
Who what?
Who signed into Gaia last night?
No one. Just look at
No.
my display name.
I see that it's Gonk. I did notice
It
that.
all started with that, and then Riety and I just went off.
I think I wrote something like last week or the week before on Twitter, and I used :Gonk. So that was a thing.
Honestly, like Gonk is an emoji that should just be.
It should be an emoji. Get on this shit, Android. Holy fuck. I don't care about... No, fuck them. They don't deserve Gonk.
I mean, I agree, but...
No, I want it to show up as a blank-ass fucking box on their phone. And then have them wonder, what is that? What could that possibly be? It's Gonk. We'll never know.
What could Gonk possibly be?
You guys are ready to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so.
As ready as I'll be.
You're
gotta be
either
more
ready
confident
or
than
you're
that.
not.
I am there. I don't think I could be more ready. Actually, I could. I just chose to spend the day talking to my lady friend.
Aw.
So
That's cute.
yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Sweet Stuff and Bitter Things podcast, episode number 3.
Número tres.
So we're going to be introducing ourselves a little bit differently because our topic of discussion tonight is going to be our journeys in defining sexuality and relationships and gender exploration. So tonight we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm Cassie. I'm polypansexual, gender fluid, and my pronouns are she, they currently.
I'm Sandra. I'm cis female. I am demisexual and straight. And my pronouns are she, her.
I am Cecil, trans male, pansexual / ace, not sure. We're exploring that.
He, him pronouns, correct?
He, him pronouns, yes.
Okay. Awesome. Coming into our first topic, we really wanted to talk a little bit because everyone that is a part of the LGBTQIA+ community, it has had some sort of journey in discovering themselves or sort of coming about where their sexuality intertwined in their life in really impactful moments. And since all of us here tonight are a part of that community, we're also welcoming Sandra officially because A is in that very long title there, and she is demisexual, and we want to get really into that. Welcome to the community, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It feels nice to be welcomed, honestly.
Yeah. Do you want to start out then talking about how your exploration with demisexuality and your community inclusion and your struggle recently?
Yeah, so I'm kind of new referring to myself as part of that community. I always felt like I was an ally, mostly because I've been attracted to males, and as a cisgender female, I always just thought of myself as straight. I've come to realize that, I do fall under the umbrella of asexuality. I used to think I was completely asexual when I was younger. And then as I progressed into different relationships, I learned that I do have a sexual attraction, but my sexual attraction does not appear unless I am emotionally connected to someone. Even after I figured that out, I still didn't really think of myself as part of the community. It's been kind of a struggle for me because I've always felt like an outsider. That's more because of myself. It wasn't that anybody made me feel excluded. I just always isolated and excluded myself. It wasn't until about maybe 2 years ago that I learned about demisexuality. So just thinking to myself that at this point in time, I have a boyfriend and we do have sex. And I guess because of that, I just thought of myself as straight. And then I saw a post somewhere that was shared on Facebook, and it talked about demisexuality. And I was like, that's me. That is me for sure. That's exactly how I am. I didn't know there was a name for this. So I was excited because I was like, I can finally relate to something. Falling under the umbrella and thinking of myself as part of the LGBTQIA community was really difficult because, like I said, most of my life, I felt like more of an ally, a straight ally than part of the community. So I just kind of self-isolated even after that discovery. Yeah, it's just been weird. And I think when I first got there, like, if I could start, the very first time I had sex, I was like, I don't understand what the big deal is. Why are people always raving about it? It's not that great. Now, mind you, the guy I had sex with at the time was not a very giving lover. He just did what he did, and that was it. It was done. I was like, geez, why do people talk about this with so much gusto? This is not enjoyable. This was work.
That doesn't sound like fun.
No, it wasn't fun. I laid there and I was just, what the fuck is this?
I shouldn't laugh. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's kind of funny looking back.
It's the way that you tell it. It's so colorful.
Thank you. I'm trying to make it a little more lively.
She's like, I just laid there.
I just laid there. I was a dead fish. Okay.
Geez.
Yeah. That was my experience with it. It was not great. Again, my partner at the time was not a generous lover, but he did talk a good game. He told me how he was very experienced and how I would definitely be satisfied. And I was just looking at my phone like, is it done?
Oh, God.
How much time has passed?
Oh my God.
And I just, honestly, I was like, oh, I'm just going to fake it because he's not going to stop until I fake it. So I faked it. I faked an orgasm, and a couple minutes later it was done. And I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I just looked at myself in the mirror and was like, what the fuck was that? That wasn't fun. That wasn't enjoyable. There was no pleasure there. Why did I come out of that so disappointed? Why did I feel like I went to work and went on a shift?
Oh my God.
That was customer service.
Oh, you did a service.
I did.
Like
and I wasn't paid for it. That was charity.
The worst part.
That was charity. Fuck my life. So that's when I figured, I was like, okay, I don't enjoy sex. So I'm probably asexual. Not a lot of people at the time were familiar with the term. Mind you, I was 19 at the time. So I didn't have any experience with sex during my teenage years, and I had no interest in it either. So it wasn't even like I felt sheltered. I wasn't interested. So I didn't date anyone in high school, so there was no one in particular that I felt that kind of attraction to. Like, I had crushes, but I didn't actually date anyone. I didn't get close in that way to anyone. So I thought of myself as asexual. And then I did notice as time went on that, like, I had attraction to people, but it wasn't until I got really close and got to know them that I felt those feelings. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe I'm not asexual. I feel attracted to dudes, but I can't have a one night stand. I'm not that kind of person. If I meet you that night, nothing is going to happen. So sorry to disappoint anyone, but it's not going to fucking happen. Like, yo, people at the bars have bought me drinks, like,
Free drinks.
tried to get my number, tried to hook up, and I'm not feeling that. Nope. It's not me. So, yeah, I again found that post about maybe 2 years ago, and that's when I discovered that about myself. And it wasn't until I saw a Twitter thread where it was very validating, because it did present, like, just because your relationship is straight facing, and doesn't mean that you are just a straight person. You are part of this community. You are included.
Mhm.
And I felt really seen by that. And that wasn't that long ago. That was a few months ago. So that was super recent for me. And it made me feel good. It made me feel good that I was part of, a community like that. And again, I felt seen, I felt validated. So that was a big part of my journey, was discovering that, and discovering that I am a sexual person, just not in the way that a lot of other people are.
Mhm.
So, that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's nice to have that level of inclusion. And I feel like, do you feel like that ever since discovering the term for demisexuality, do you feel like your sexual confidence has gotten better?
I definitely have, because, like, I was able to put a name to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just like a really broad term, there was like something specific, and I was like able to say, yeah, that's who I am. Like, not everyone likes labeling. Some people enjoy the freedom of not having a label. I personally like having a label because it makes me feel like I belong somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that I belonged to a specific group gave me confidence, just because it made me feel included. It made me feel like I wasn't such a, like, mind you, I don't mind being a weirdo. I know I am. I'm cool with that. But, like, it's when people point and laugh at you and say you're a weirdo, where it's like negative. Not that anyone was really doing that, but in my own head, it was I was doing it to myself. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you're fucking weird, man. People aren't like you. But once I found that, I was like, okay, I'm not as strange as I thought I was. And it gave me a lot more confidence at that point.
Yeah. Cecil,
Yes.
you have recently gone through a pretty cool journey that I think most trans men would be pretty happy to go through. It's just your top surgery.
Yes.
Congratulations on that. I mean, it's been a minute now, but
Yeah.
considering.
It's been about a little over a year now.
Happy anniversary!
Yeah.
Yeah, teat yeet. I very proudly called it my teat yeet. Yeah, that was a really interesting experience for me. I'm not really in a wealthy position where I can provide for myself and live in my own apartment. So unfortunately, I am still living at home, and I don't have the support at home that I wish I did. But being on my own health insurance, I went ahead and went through the steps to get surgery through a surgeon through my network. I really didn't have a big bill to pay, honestly. My surgeon fought my insurance company for them to cover it until they did. Because I didn't really have the support at home, I was planning on staying with my best friend's family in a different state. I think they're about a 2-hour drive away from me. As time got closer to the surgery, I had to talk to my mom about it and be like, hey, I'm still doing this. I know you don't want me to, because I guess she figured if she said no and said she wouldn't help me, that I would just drop it and not go ahead with the surgery. But I just let her know, like, hey, I am going to stay with so-and-so's family. And if not, I have, like, my boss was going to house me. Like,
Aw.
yeah, so I had a few different backup of people, and it was right as COVID was hitting the United States, and my friend's mom got sick with, we assume, was COVID. They just didn't have testing for it in February last year. And I was like, hey, mom, like, here's your chance. If you want to help me, you can help me now. And I'm just happy that she agreed to that and did step up and took care of me to an extent. Like, she still went to work, but she would set me up before she would leave for work with like easy meals that I can just throw in the microwave and heat up, leaving like bowls and stuff down on the counters for me to reach, and like checking in on me during the day. I think the hardest part of top surgery was before the surgery. It was like all leading up to it. I was very lucky that I had a pretty painless recovery. It was hard for me to use my arms, of course, at first, but overall, very little pain for me. And after that, it's like my confidence, there's so much more confidence. I feel a
I
lot,
can imagine.
yeah, so much better with my body. Like, I feel I'm happier. It's so much easier in the summer to not have to wear a binder.
Yeah.
That's the big one. Oh man. But it's so nice. Like, I'm wearing one less layer. It's not compression all day. It feels great. Like, it feels empowering.
Do you feel like your top surgery has been probably the most validating experience so far?
So far, yes. Yes, definitely. I mean, I hope to be on HRT sometime soon-ish. I'm just not really in a good position at home or in a work position that I can go ahead and do it without some sort of issue.
Yeah.
But
I mean, definitely with the surgery, though, it's like one step closer to feeling fully yourself.
oh, absolutely.
That's got to be the biggest thing.
It really is. And I'm just so much more comfortable with myself. And I know, Sandra, you were talking about sexuality and such. And I mean, I guess we're going to be going into our next topic with what I want to bring up. So should I hold on to that, or
Just let her.
You can go ahead and say it, and
Okay.
we can expand on it.
Okay. So for a long time, I identified as pansexual for a very, very, very long time. And as I was in more serious relationships, I was uncomfortable with my body, and I had a lot of that body dysphoria, and most of it was with my chest. And I feel like I kind of shied away from a lot of physical affections because of it. I had an ex who would lovingly, I guess you could say, like grope my chest, and I was just very not okay with that. And even though, it's part of my body, that, and they're trying to like tell me, like it's okay, like I love your body, blah blah blah. That's not really so great for me, I don't love my body. And it just kind of caused some issues. Relationship didn't last very long, because I was upset with them and they were upset that I was upset with them. And then in other relationships I've had, I just felt like I couldn't perform, I guess you could say. Like I couldn't really get into a mood with somebody because it was on my mind, my body. It's just like, this isn't right. I'm not jiving with this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do this. And so more recently, I guess within the past 4 or 5 years, maybe closer to like 5 years, I've been like, well, maybe I'm ace, it kind of makes sense. It doesn't mean that I don't feel attraction for people. It's just that I'm not comfortable with the like sexual side of a relationship.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I feel like since my top surgery, I've felt a lot more comfortable with my body and a lot more confident. So that might be, changing as well. I could very well be going back to like, hey, I'm pan. Like,
I mean, when your confidence goes up, it changes a lot of things.
Oh,
Not just, saying like, oh yeah, I look good. It when you have that kind of confidence, you feel so much less like you're being judged, and it just like,
yes.
it's almost like a weight lifts from you. You feel lighter.
Yes, and honestly, Sandra, I think that is the best way to put it. You feel less judged. And even though I was, like my last relationship, I was with a partner who was not judgmental about my status or whatever, it still felt wrong to me. Like, oh, I don't have the package. I have extra baggage instead.
Mm-hmm.
So I think honestly that's like a aha moment for me. Like, oh yeah, that is how it feels. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely had that where like I was so uncomfortable with myself that like, even though nobody was judging, I was judging me.
Yes.
I was judging me, and like that's why I mentioned it to you, because I can see like that's how you feel. You're uncomfortable in your own skin.
Absolutely.
And even though your partner wasn't judging you, it didn't matter how many times they reassured you, because you're judging you. You're looking in the mirror and saying, this isn't me. This isn't who I am. I'm not comfortable with this.
Yes, absolutely. That's it. Like, right on the nail.
Self-deprecation is a hell of a drug.
It sure fucking is.
Oh my God. I had I've always, when I was younger, I don't know why, but I got a lot of unnecessary attention from people. I had what my ex called unearned confidence at a young age, because I just acted like I was the shit all the time. And for some reason that attracted to a lot of people when I was younger to me, and especially like older people. I remember being 13 years old and like having an interaction with a man much older, lying about my age, and just all kinds of just trouble with processing what was right and wrong in like the boundaries of like that sort of like any sort of sexuality. Like I was down. I was like, whatever. I was like, yeah, let's go make out in the freaking
DTF.
yeah, exactly. Let's go make out in the janitor's closet in middle school. Like I don't, with like the girl that was dating like one of my friends, like shit like that. Like I didn't give a shit. I had no concept of like boundaries when I was younger for some reason. I thought that I had sort of like a misogynistic almost mentality growing up, because like I had this inflated ego, and also like no, I came out at such a young age to, in comparison to everyone else I knew. Like everyone else I knew didn't come out until they were like 18. And I think my mom walked in on me and my friend making out on the couch when I was like 13 years old. And I was just like, by the way, I'm queer. And she was
Hey,
like, yeah,
this is me now.
yeah, she was like, yeah, I knew, I figured, and just like left it at that. And just then I started dating a girl like a week later. But because I came out so young, I got harassed a lot. And then when I decided that I wanted to date, you know, at first I was like, oh yeah, I went through so many different gender and sexualities so quickly that I didn't know what I was for the longest time. I did introduce myself as pansexual, but I'm recently learning that I might be omnisexual, which is a completely different thing. And because I went through so much when I was younger, and then I recycled relationships pretty badly because they were all very restrained in a way, in all kinds of, like, sexuality was not to be expressed in any way outside of like me and that person. Like I couldn't even like wear a low cut shirt or wear makeup or dye my hair because it was considered too sexual. You know, it was very, very suppressed. And I had two relationships like that back to back that each lasted, you know, a span of like 9 years altogether. And so for my entire 20s, I just had no grasp of what could have been a more expanded sexuality that like I harnessed the fuck out of when I was younger. I shouldn't have, but I did. You know, I used my charming forces for evil. But now I'm older, and now I'm into more, and I've really regained a lot of my sexual confidence, like you were talking about, through not only gender exploration but also through recovering from those traumatic sexual experiences that I've had and making them into my own thing, because now I'm just like, I can just do whatever I want. I don't have those kind of boundaries anymore. They don't exist for me, not even in relationships at all. So I can just do whatever and feel however I want. And being able to express myself in any type of way has really made me a much more interesting person, to say the least, the very least. But
Cassie, you've always been a really interesting person. Like,
that is not a lie.
That is not a lie. Like, how long have we known you?
So long. Oh my God.
Long.
Yeah, let's touch on that. How long have we all known each other?
16, 17 years almost.
I think it's been
So?
for me and Cecil, because I met Cecil before I met Cassie.
I think I was about 15.
And I was about 16.
Hold on, wait. I did the math, and Sandra and I have known each other for 17 years.
17 years.
17 years. And I think you came in like a year later at like 16. So we've known each other for a fucking long time.
A long time.
And that brings me back to, you have always been an interesting person.
Thank you. Aside from being a more interesting person, I'm just burrowing right into this because I've been excited to talk about this since episode 1. Is I have been into BDSM over the past. I've been practicing BDSM for a while in my vanilla life, in my vanilla relationships, but it's always been like very light BDSM, like, you know, light
so
bondage.
You haven't leveled up yet.
Oh no, I've leveled up since then. But before the last like year and a half, 2 years or so, I haven't experienced nothing like what I have recently. Really, it was just like some toys and handcuffs and like, but
So vanilla.
We all start somewhere.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I put on toy handcuffs, I was kind of into it.
Yeah,
Learning new
so
things about you every day.
oh, I knew all about that. But before I got into the BDSM lifestyle, I was going through a time where I wasn't having sex. I wasn't like masturbating. I wasn't doing anything. I was doing nothing. When I discovered BDSM, it was because I was like, what is something that I can take to the next level? How can I push myself to sort of jump out of this weird comfort zone that I've had and go back to exploring my sexuality in a more limitless way? When I found out about BDSM, it was through a friend of mine who had become a pro dom, and she would post all these really elegant photo shoots of her at clubs and just these things that were I was just like, wow, okay, this is
Kiss.
yeah, exactly. Like this is what I want to get into. But when I decided I wanted to get into it, I didn't do anything with anyone for like a year after I discovered BDSM. I didn't do any subbing or doming or any play with any toy. I did nothing. All I did was research a shitload. And Sandra can attest to this because she had to be there in like the beginnings of what this was. And I was just like spouting all this information to her nonstop. Like, today I learned about this. And I learned about violet wands today and fire play today. And, I saw this really cool setup and,
I love hearing it. I love knowing you're excited. I love when you get excited because you put yourself all in.
yeah.
So it was fun. It was a fun ride.
it was a lot at first. But all I did was research. I joined FetLife and I read everything. I looked at every picture that I could just get my hands on. I went through every single fetish and then just Googled them until I could find something that felt like that felt more genuine than just like regular porn. It was like actually teaching you how to do things, how to, if you were going to tie somebody up, like what's the proper knots that you need to learn first? How do you, suspend someone comfortably, and all these things. One of the things, and you were sort of talking about it, Cecil, earlier, was like how there was like some boundary and consent issues in your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no consensual real sexual experiences up until the past maybe like 3 or 4 people that I've dated. Up until then, it's been very wishy-washy. I wouldn't say like outright that it was non-consensual, but it felt that way sometimes. So when I got into BDSM, one of the first things that you need to learn about is what is consent and how is it going to factor into your first conversations about this, because conversation is one of the most important parts of any dynamic in the BDSM community. And when you have to open up that way to someone before you even touch each other, usually, I mean, at this point in time, everything is done mostly online. It's really hard to just like date someone and find out like, hey, you're a sub, you're a dom, yeah, let's do this thing. It doesn't happen as organically as often as it does you seek somebody out who is also looking for a partnership in that way. So having to introduce conversation about consent, conversation about what play style you're going to use, has really changed the way that I not only date, but the way that I play. It's changed a lot of conversation that I've had with my friends, with my family about consent, because I think about it in a much more broadened perspective ever since entering that community. And that's something that I didn't have so much in my vanilla lifestyle.
I mean, I guess
That's
in a
that's
way,
a journey.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like in a way, you know, like I had looked into stuff like that before because I've been to a few events, and like learning about consent and stuff there is I feel like in general it should really be talked about more, not just as a like BDSM thing, but just in relationships in general, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think it's very mainstream, and I think it should be. I really do think it should be a lot more mainstream.
It's
It
not stressed enough. I think
it's
even
not.
like when they discuss sexual health in schools, like in health class, like at least when I was in school, they did not stress consent enough. It was
They
like
talked about it in my
mentioned.
school.
It wasn't a big part of it though.
Yeah, no, I agree with you
It
on
was
that. It
more
wasn't a big
glossed
part.
through.
It was definitely just like, you know, if they don't say yes, it's no, you know. That's pretty much the
My
most
school
that we got
didn't
out of
even
it.
get that.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, mine was pretty bad. It was
I
basically
learned a
like
lot.
it was like this is how you raise a baby.
They're like, this is how you make a baby. Now you get to watch this disgusting video of the baby coming out. And everyone's like, ah!
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you didn't get the video?
I didn't get the video, no.
We-
My health class wasn't publicly funded.
So sorry.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know
our
what happened
state
there.
our state was like, yes, tell them all about baby making and AIDS.
Oh,
Yes, that was heavily talked about.
Heavily talked about.
we had to watch the movie Philadelphia.
We did.
Yeah. Oh my
I
god.
did not.
You did
Oh
not?
my god.
No,
It's
I
a
don't know
great
what that
movie.
movie is.
It is what? You
Oh,
should watch that movie.
Tom Hanks, first of all.
Yeah.
And he plays a gay man. Yeah, exactly. Just
What?
watch it. Philadelphia.
I'm just thinking of like,
We've already spoiled it for
Okay,
you, but
this
watch
is
it.
in the 90s, right? This is a 90s
all I'm
movie?
thinking
I
of
think
is,
so.
like Forrest Gump as a gay man.
Okay. Oh god, no. No, no,
No.
no. He's nothing like that. But
I know, but that's the
Yeah.
only way I can picture Tom Hanks.
it really is. Oh, you should watch it.
Yeah.
You should watch it. It broke my heart. It broke my heart.
Your
Of course it did.
Kokoro was Brokero.
So broke-a-row.
You Brokero, your Kokoro.
It's true. I did.
This is what happens when you're friends with weebs.
Weeb Nation.
I have a question.
You may ask.
I want to talk to you a little bit about, for me, when I first interact with someone, usually one of the things that gets brought up is like sex. I just can't help it. I'm the odd man out, I guess, in this conversation, but it's the first thing on my mind. It's the first thing I go to. I don't know why. I'm a hypersexual person, so I want to get it out of the way like really quickly. Like, this is what I like.
Cassie's all, let's talk about sex.
Yeah, I'm all about the business, baby. So it's my first go-to, and then I want to have a conversation about it, and I want to explore that before I start really getting any sort of emotional attachment. I don't even have to have an emotional attachment with a play partner. They're just a play partner. They're for fun. We're both for fun, and that's it. But you, because you're demisexual, that may not even be an option for you, you know, for you to have a relationship. That may not even be something that's brought up. How is it from someone who, you know, we've had these conversations before, but how is it like from a perspective of someone who has to form an intense and emotional bond first?
Well, it's usually frustrating for the other people, but I don't care if you stop talking to me if I don't really have that kind of connection with you. But it takes a while. So, like, I mean, the partners that I've had, I will say, they have all been respectful of my reluctance to have sex. So I think I lucked out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for me to get close to people, get attached. I have to build trust. And I spill shit about myself really easily. So like, don't think you're fucking close to me because like I tell you some personal shit that's going on in my family, because
Yeah.
I will say it. I don't give a fuck. I'm a very open person. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. I overshare. Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm close to you. I don't know. I think I build walls and people sort of know, like, yeah, no, that one's not gonna, they don't bother. I've had a couple of guys. I was at a club for my birthday in New York City, and I went with a group of friends. We went in a limo, and yeah, we were fancy, man. And like we were all dancing together, me and my friends. And like some guy just, he took my hand and like started trying to pull me away from my friends. Like,
bro.
The audacity.
the audacity.
Mhm.
That is not complimentary. I don't know you. He came up from behind me. It was gross. Like, oh my God.
Ugh.
I pushed him the fuck off of me and I went back to my group. And after that, they just surrounded me because, like, they saw what happened. It was very sweet.
Aw.
But, like, yeah, that was fucking terrifying. Like, that, I'm not gonna lie. That I think, like, when I'm with a small group of people, obviously this was at a fucking club, like, on a dance floor.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be a fucking connection like that between me or anybody. Like, nobody's even gonna look for long enough to say like, oh yeah, no, that one, no, that attitude, it was I feel like I exude this aura. People mostly stay away.
It's the resting bitch face.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know. I know I'm rambling.
No, it's okay.
I just
No, this is your ramble time.
What, like I didn't ramble?
But
Name's Cecil. Ramble.
yeah, I don't know. I've been lucky enough to have really patient partners. Again, my first time having sex like was with a guy that I was emotionally connected to, like very strongly. I was in an online relationship. This was like my first serious relationship.
Mhm.
Like, so he was the first person I had sex with. He came to visit me, and then like we had sex, and then he went back to his state, and like 2 weeks later breaks up with me over a fucking text message. I'm like, so all there really was an emotional connection, and obviously, you know, that was not going to work. Like, so I mean, I don't know. It's easier for me to do these long distance relationships, I noticed, because you're more inclined to be forgiving for the lack of physical contact.
Yeah.
Oh, I also had another question for you, Cassie.
For me. Okay.
Yes, because when you were asking Sandra, about like the forming the emotional bond, and were you relating that at all to BDSM?
I think that in some ways, a lot of, I'm not going to say all of it, but I feel like a lot of BDSM is pickup play. And pickup play is when you might meet someone like publicly or in a dungeon or something like that, and they're like, oh, can you do this to me, you know, and it just kind of happens. But in some types of BDSM relationships, now I'm into gentle femdom, which kind of requires me to form an emotional bond with my submissive, because I have to know, I don't just have to know what they like physically. I have to know what inspires them to be a better person, because my job as a dom is not just to give them a lax of control. Like, they don't need to be in control anymore. I will take care of them in every way that I can possibly manage, while also taking care of myself. And that means that there is a level of emotion that has to be there for me to understand them in order to make them their happiest, essentially. Yeah, exactly. Whatever's going to make them comfortable. I love doing things like putting them in situations where, my favorite is like bath time. You put your submissive in the bath with, the whole 9 yards, like bubbles and like a nice scented oil and some candles and like a nice face mask and just the best products. You just sit there and talk to them, and it's just a very vulnerable moment of unexpected control, because they're there, and it's a time where usually they would be alone, but I'm also there, and I'm controlling the situation, I'm guiding the conversation, I'm controlling how long they're in the tub, what they're doing, their ritual, things like that. But I'm also making them happy. So to answer your question, yeah, it is relating. I do relate it in a way to BDSM. I just usually find that and not even just sex, because I don't necessarily have to have sex with someone to be in a dynamic with them, or to have any kind of play with them. And honestly, I would prefer it that way, because sex is great and all, but have you ever like had aftercare? It's pretty great. Like
it is great.
Yeah, like aftercare is my favorite part of sex, because then you're just like, wow, like if I could just get rid of the sex part and like foreplay and then aftercare is like what I'm all about.
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking because I do have some friends that are in the BDSM community and have brought me to different events, dungeons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like my experience with it has been very non-sexual.
Yes.
So I think I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that would be a good opportunity to bring that up, actually. So that's why I was asking you.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you asked that,
because
it's a distinction that needs to be made too, because there is a
Yeah.
lot of non-sexual BDSM.
Yes, definitely. Like as I've stated before, I'm not a sexual person. I'm not. One of my friends is just like, "Hey, I got some new tools. Can I use them on you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I'll just like lay down and be like, "Okay, do your thing."
Yeah.
And then he's just like, it's just like, oh, testing it out. And it's very just kind of like, we're sitting there watching Netflix and like,
Yeah.
literally Netflix and chill and some fun things.
I mean, I was trying to practice shibari on you guys when we went camping.
Yeah.
That
was fun.
Yeah, that was like a non-sexual form of BDSM. But
Yeah,
I mean, no, I was
definitely.
just practicing, like on my friends, but
Exactly. And for me, I was just like, yes, please use them on me. It's relaxing. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird for me. I'm just like, yes, please. But I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was interesting. And I don't think I've ever really opened up to you guys much about my experiences.
No, I've only heard a little bit about your.
Yeah, a lot of like little tools and stuff. My friend has these like little like claw things that they can put on their fingers.
They're cat nails.
I guess they were like elegant looking things, man. And it was just like, how does it feel on your scalp? How does it feel on your back? How does it feel like here? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of like, I was just laying there watching, like, I don't even know, some sort of comedy. And we're just sitting there like laughing, watching this comedy while also I'm getting the shit scratched out of me. And I'm like, yes.
That's awesome.
I'm just like, I'm about this. And then he's like, oh, wait, I want to try something else. And then like gets out like an ice cube and like runs that over after scratching my back. And then like the feather. And I was just like, yo, this is all really nice. He's like, is it? I've never tried this before. I'm like, keep doing it.
Yeah, that's sensory play.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, I never thought of it that way. Definitely sensory play. Then.
Sensory play is my expertise. So
yeah, I was just like all about it. Just like, yep, I'll just lay here and you do your thing, and I'm just gonna like maybe fall asleep because I'm that relaxed.
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I just figured I'd bring that up.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, I had some other interests, but I couldn't find anybody at the time to participate because it was a very full event.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to try out the suspension. Like that is like I really want to try that.
I would love to do some suspension.
And I saw them, they had the fire table and they had cupping. I was like, I want to try these things. This looks fun. Oh, wait, no, I did get my arm set on fire. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah. I've just recently started to...
I was like, yo, I have no arm hair now, but that was cool.
I just recently started to get into fire play with taking like a little bit of mousse, letting it on fire, and then wiping it off real quick. Like,
Yeah,
that's one of the
I think
tricks.
it was like some sort of oil. I don't know.
Yeah. Did they use a wand?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I need to get.
They also had the like little electric wand.
Violet wands.
Cool. Ooh, that was so fun.
Yeah, violet wands are awesome. I have a TENS unit. I was actually looking at a violet wand today. They're on sale for like $99 for a nano one. And then you just buy the accessories, which are like $25 to $50 a piece, and then yeah, you have fun. I'm considering getting one. I love electro play.
It was really interesting, and I only got like one little like zap because they were just like they were getting ready for like a session, and it was like, you know, you can watch these things at a dungeon. So like we were observing, and like I think it was just kind of obvious that it was my first time there, and my friend was just like, do you want me to ask for you? And I was like, yes. So best friend ever, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me it's all a sensory thing and a very non-sexual sensory play kind of thing, because I think basically everything I just named is all sensory, but I think also in general it could BDSM can be just very sensory in general.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is it's you know, if it's not about submission and control, it's about some level of sensory.
Yeah.
You know.
Input.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. I just was like, oh wait, I need to ask.
No, I love that. I'm glad that we got to touch on a couple of misconceptions about that, because there's no segueing. I've got fucking notes in front of me and everything right now, and I don't know how to follow them. And Sandra, we've had the floor for so long. It's your time to shine.
Yeah, sorry, we were just yammering on.
I don't even know which topic we're at this point.
We're in the
relationships.
We're in the home run. So
yeah.
I want to talk to you about some misconceptions that you've had and some issues that maybe you've run into, like before you discovered you're demisexual. You didn't have a word for it. You didn't have a way to explain it. I know you've probably gotten a lot of people being like, oh, you don't like sex? Like, that's weird. Like, I love sex, you know, like stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I've had friends that thought I was weird. Like, you don't have sex? Like, no, it's not that great. Fuck it. If people don't believe me, like, and I'm just, it's okay. But now that I have someone that I feel very connected with and I love very much, like, I have a really strong emotional bond with him. it definitely feels better, like, and he takes care of me. So it's different with him.
You haven't run into nearly the same issues because you've got, for the better part of saying a sexually healthy relationship within your, expectations of physical limitations and all.
Yeah, well, that's why, the long distance thing works for me. He's 500 miles away from me, so it's a bit of a distance. It's healthy for me because I think, like, having too much physical intimacy for me, it makes me really dependent, because I just grow more and more attached, like, and it can happen like at a really early stage, and it becomes a problem. I become really reliant on that. It's a codependency, and I found myself that way in previous relationships, and in this one, I feel like the physical distance kind of gives me enough, like, emotional intimacy with him, but also, without the physical contact, it kind of lessens it also. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it really balances out.
So you feel like the distance, even though it's a concern in some issues, that's what I was gonna say. Cecil, do you know what Sandra calls herself?
No.
A sex camel.
What?
She's a sex camel.
Yes. Okay, so I got it from Scrubs. So Elliot.
I love that show.
Yeah, so it was when, like, Elliot is talking to Sean when he's leaving on that that new job, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, we can do this long distance. She's like, I don't really need sex. I'm a sex camel. I can do this. And I'm just, that resonated with me.
She is a sex camel.
I am a sex camel. Like, I can go without for a long time. As long as we've got the emotional connection there, I can do it. I can wait.
That's amazing.
That's nice.
Yeah. I could not. I mean, COVID has kind of changed that perspective for me because I've had to.
Thanks,
and so, like,
COVID.
Yeah, COVID has, I think, like, in regular life, like, if it went too long, I'd be like, yeah, like, I'm sort of losing my spunk here. I'm losing my sparkle.
Spunk.
Yeah, I'm losing my spunk, but not literally. I would like to.
That fun spunk.
But yeah, I couldn't. COVID's fucked everything up. I feel like for everyone.
I think everybody can agree with that.
Yeah. We just need to take a break real quick.
Sup, bitches? This
break brought to you by our need for Patreon subscribers so we can pay for Zoom unlimited minutes. So donate to our Patreon. Patreon.com/SSABTpodcast.
Nice segue, Cassie.
Thanks. Anyway, I was talking about COVID. What COVID did is COVID fucked up my plan that I wanted to lay out, which was my quote unquote poly plan, which is I have a primary partner who I'm emotionally invested in, who is we don't have any expectations or boundaries of each other outside of just right now we're seeing each other, and there's been no progression in terms of regular relationships, like moving in or doing any big, or even like pronouncing ourselves as like partners, like officially, like doing the whole will you be my all that.
Will you be my partner?
Yeah. I don't even know how that goes anymore. I don't know how traditional dating goes, so none of that has been a thing. But my plan was pre-COVID was to be able to introduce other people into that primary relationship. And then I found out during COVID that not only am I a little bit jealous when it comes to not being involved in being like the only, like when my partner is with someone else, I'm a little bit jealous. I'm like, why is that not me? You know, like, and it's kind of stupid, and I've gotten over it for the most part. But in my more recent relationships, I have gotten to the point where I feel like introducing a broader sense of polyamory would be beneficial to me, because I, at the end of the day, I'm not monogamous. I would prefer to be with than one person at a time, but I also do poly a little differently, I think. I think a lot of people think that poly is like, oh, it's three or more people in a relationship together at once. And that's never been how I wanted to do it before. And it was sort of the direction I wanted to go in pre-COVID. But once COVID hit, it's really hard to meet anyone, and never mind like introduce them into an already existing relationship, you know? Because God knows, I feel like my partner would probably, I don't even know what they would want in regards to, but I'd love a girlfriend, you know? It's been a long time since I've dated someone that like identified as a female or as a woman. But yeah.
I think the definition of poly definitely differs within the community itself. I'm fairly new to it. So my current girlfriend is married, and she also has a girlfriend, and now there's me. I know her husband from previously, and I know her girlfriend because the three, like my girlfriend and her girlfriend and I, all play Animal Crossing together. So I've actually like befriended her girlfriend, who is in a relationship with someone else too. It's just like a tree. It just keeps going. It's a web. But the way that my girlfriend handles us, like her girlfriend and myself, is like she designates like a certain day of the week to us. So it's like, oh, every Wednesday I'm going to hang out with Cecil, and every Thursday I'm going to be with my girlfriend, and then she's always with her husband. So yeah. And I know that not all poly relationships are like that. And I know not all poly relationships are, you know, so friendly. I'm friends with her girlfriend, and I am friendly with her husband. I don't know if he considers me a friend. I know he considers me a lot. But because I mean, you can agree.
Yeah. That's fair.
I do get very loud bursts of energy. So I mean, it's a fair assessment, but but I do, like, I'm in a group chat with him and my girlfriend, and like we all share like memes for video games and stuff with each other, and fight whether about bread is good food or not. So I mean, I guess like, yeah, like each poly relationship would be different. I'm definitely still like looking for a, I guess you could say like I don't want to say like a main girlfriend or boyfriend or partner or whatever.
The term is usually your primary.
Okay, yeah, see, I'm new. I don't know this shit.
Yeah, usually
so, like, yeah,
people would have a primary partner and then
yeah,
like, you know, a girlfriend or
yeah.
a boyfriend. Or...
I am still looking for like a primary partner, but I'm also afraid of like, I don't want to put myself out there as poly and then have people, you know, who already have a partner come to me, because I'm kind of like you in a way. Like, I'm jealous. I'm a jealous person. I do want somebody or just me. But I think the current relationship I'm in right now is just like a little bit different because I'm just like, yeah, well, I mean, I've known her since high school. And I've known she's been married for so long, you know. We've been friends this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like developed into something. And at least like for her, she does treat us all pretty equally, but when it comes down to it, like before she like officially, like before we officially started going out, she was talking to her husband about it because she wants his input too, you know, because they're married and he's not poly.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's kind of like weary about the whole thing.
Okay.
And I kind of understand that, you know, because he's monogamous.
Mm-hmm.
But I respect how she handles it because she was like, you know, like, hey, I really like you, but we can't have a relationship unless my husband is okay with it. And I think that when people like this might go back to, you know, different poly relationships are, you know, they're all different from each other. I really respect that of her because she is thinking of her husband and her other partners and stuff. But I think that somebody who's not very well versed in what poly is would think that it's just, oh, I go and I date whoever the fuck I want and I don't care, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
And that is not at all
that's
what
not
every
at all what it is. Yeah.
poly
And
relationship is.
I like, because this was like the first time I really like gotten to know anything about polyamory and such.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect it a lot more now that I understand it, you know.
Once you learn how big the conversation part of it is, because you really have to like make sure you have to do check-ins with everyone that's involved in the relationship.
Yeah.
To make sure that everything's okay. Like, how are you feeling about the situation?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that should definitely be migrated into monogamous relationships that we don't like talk about enough. It's like comfort check-ins.
Oh, I see what you mean. I was gonna say, like, what should we do in monogamous relationships?
Comfort check-ins.
Yeah,
That's just a very common poly thing where like everyone just gets together and it's like, oh, how are we all feeling about this? You know, and like we don't really do that in monogamy where we just like choose like a day or a time and we're like, okay, let's have a meeting about like how we feel about our relationship, you know?
Yeah.
So
I thought it was, you know, I think I had said it to her myself, like, I really respect how she handles the situation. And yeah, I mean, I'm, like I said many times, I am very not a sexual person, so that was part of the reason why it was okay
yeah.
for me, at least, because like we're going in with no expectation there, so
Yeah.
it's purely a emotional and romantic connection. So
That's awesome.
It's kind of nice, like, honestly. It's less stressful too because I don't have any sort of expectation beyond my comfort level.
Yeah.
So I also respect that a lot.
I'm too jealous for that shit.
I mean, I get that. Like, I feel like if I had a primary partner, I would not want them to be poly. And I don't really know what to make of that myself. I'm not sure if this is just a, you know, special for this certain relationship that I'm in right now.
You're not sure if you are poly or if you're just experiencing a poly relationship right now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I don't think I would be able to do it. I'm kind of with Sandra on this. I'm a jealous person.
Sandra will kill a bitch.
Oh
yeah,
and also her boyfriend first.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Does the bitch know that I'm involved. Like,
Yeah.
does she know who I am, what this
Does
is?
she know who
Okay.
I am?
But listen, first and foremost, unless it's my friend, he's the one that has a relationship with me.
Yeah.
So I'll shank him.
You'll drive those 500 miles just
I-
to shake it.
Listen, I drove 500 miles for much less.
Then the satisfaction of
And I
shanking.
will drive 500 more.
That was 500 back home, man.
Do you Cecil, do you feel like between now you've experienced like your poly relationship, do you feel like you're adding like another stack onto already struggling with being ace and being trans and your dating pool?
In a way. Not with my partner right now, no. But when it comes to like the dating pool, possibly.
Mhm.
Because like I said, like I kind of would like to have that monogamous relationship with someone, but I have to, you know, have that person be okay with the fact that I'm currently seeing someone.
Mhm.
and and I guess, you know, it's a little bit of ignorance here because I don't really know much. I'm new to it.
Mhm.
um and I don't want to be led on into a relationship under any sort of false pretenses on either side. Like, I don't want to mislead somebody and I don't want them to mislead me, whether it's intentional or unintentional. um I would rather have a relationship with somebody who doesn't want to see anyone else, who isn't poly,
Yeah.
but is okay with me being with someone. I know I just said the same thing twice, but
No, it's fine to reiterate.
yeah, I guess it's like a little complicated now. Definitely. Because I don't want to share.
Do you do you
It's
think that you might be more open to like a relationship where like it's more than one person but you're all like living together and cohabitating and doing all the things you would normally do together? Is that something you're interested in? Is moving in with someone, by the way? We've talked about this before on the show, but
yeah, no, definitely. I guess I would. Um I mean, if I could live in a house full of friends, I absolutely would do that.
yeah.
But as like, I don't know if it sounds silly. I guess it doesn't. But you know, at some point of my life, I would like to get married. So I would like to have somebody who would, you know, prioritize me
Okay.
in that way. I don't want to be like unmarried for my whole life. There's just something comforting about the idea. I don't
Yeah.
have to have a huge ceremony or anything. I could just walk into like the court and be like, "Yo, sign this paper. Okay, we done. Woo!" But like, it's just a little bit of a comfort thing. I think for me, I feel like that it makes things feel more official and solidified and like just finalized. You
Yeah.
know?
It sounds like you want to almost emulate your partner's relationship with their husband. Like so you want a similar
Yeah,
kind
I
of
guess.
lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, she came out as poly after she got married.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, I would do,
But
yes. I
he is
think that's,
accepting of it even though
or
he's
he's
not
a little
poly.
reluctant about it, you know, and I don't blame him at all. And I definitely don't want to overstep any boundaries because I respect him a lot too.
Hmm.
He's a really great guy, and I would love to be friends with him. But yeah, it's just like, if if I could if I could have a living situation where I am living with my partner, like, that would be awesome. But you know
Hmm.
what would be more awesome? Getting married.
Aw.
So yeah, like Sandra said, like emulating what my current partner has done. Like,
Okay.
and then still having like a girlfriend on the side.
Yeah.
So
You're a unicorn hunter.
I don't like that term, but I guess so.
Listen, nobody likes that term, especially when they're pointed out as it, but they exist in the poly community, and I think it's fair to say it.
Well,
People,
okay, because
listen.
was I talking to you about it, or
I
was
think you were.
Okay, because like I don't know, when we were talking about it, I was just like, oh, that sounds gross. Like, but like
Okay.
I don't know. I guess it was just the way you had stated it that I might have just kind of misunderstood the actual intention behind it.
So people who are okay unicorn hunters, or the good unicorn hunters, are ones who openly admit that that's what they're doing. Like, yes, I have already established an emotional relationship with someone. I want to bring someone in and like invite them into that, with the possibility that like, hey, this is like my main priority, like my marriage or my whatever, and like you are, you know, you're the third. Like,
No, because I don't want that person to be the third.
you want them to be an integrated part of your relationship. They would have to get equal amounts of attention from your partner as they did you.
Oh, I don't need them to really get attention from my partner. Like,
You want that as a separate relationship from
yes,
your primary partner.
yes.
You don't want them mingling.
It's not that I don't want them mingling.
I mean, in that way.
Yeah.
Romantically.
It would be like a separate relationship.
Okay.
Cuz that's kind of how it is with like me and with her partners, you know? Like,
Yeah.
we're not in a relationship. We're friends, but we're not in a relationship. So like that's kind of what I'm looking for, but like kind of, I guess, opposite in a way. Like I want to find a primary partner, and then my current partner would be that like girlfriend.
I know I said earlier like the same words. I was like, I would love a girlfriend. Like,
Yeah.
I would.
I don't know if I'm saying things in an offensive way. Like I honestly don't know.
No. I'm mostly just fucking with you.
Okay, because like please let me know if what I'm saying is just not right.
No, everyone.
Like, I'm so new to this.
Everyone polys a little bit differently, and everyone's going
Yeah.
to tell you that there is this right way to do it or a wrong way to do it. My preferred way to poly is that I would have my goal would be to have relationships within my means. So like, maybe it's one, maybe it's two, maybe it's more, but it's all within what I can put out at the time. So I've had a pretty established relationship for like almost a year and a half now, almost a year and a half. I think next month it'll be a year and a half. And you know, we haven't, like I said before, we haven't like pushed any boundaries on each other, and we haven't even really had like a real conversation about what we want to experience in or out of this relationship, because COVID hit, and we were just very forgiving of each other, just like we will save that discussion for another time. And then it just became, we'll save it for another time. And then now here we are, and I'm not sure if maybe after this episode we won't be saving it for another time because I'm talking about it. But past that, I think that I would really just like the freedom to, and I would want the person that I'm with also to have the freedom to explore. And if they meet someone who is special and amazing, because I think that I've met a lot of really incredible people, and when I meet an incredible person, I don't think to myself like, oh, like they should be mine or I should be yours. Like, I now think like they are so incredible, I want to share them with the world. And so I feel like if my partner also had multiple partners, that would make me kind of happy, because not only would it share my workload of the emotional or physical part of the relationship, it would also I think, raise their confidence a little bit, sexually or physically or whatever, or romantically, whatever, they would decide to have in that relationship. Because like I said, not all of the relationships that I'm even seeking are sexual in any nature, BDSM and all. But yeah, I would want my partners to be with more than just me. If that's their choice. I would like them to have, but it wouldn't specifically, I wouldn't date someone who is strictly monogamous and want that for the, I would want them some level of understanding.
Agreed. So I guess that's like the kind of difficult situation I kind of put myself into.
Yeah.
But I've been talking to somebody else, and my girlfriend's just like, yeah, go for it, like cheering me on.
Aw.
Because she knows that I would like somebody special for just me as well, and she's happy for us, and
Aww.
like she does the same for her girlfriend, and it's just like, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, go get another person, I'll cheer you on and also love you.
It's supportive in a way.
It is, it's supportive, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, I don't know, I'm kind of like in a weird unknowing right now in a lot of ways. Because I would like a primary relationship with somebody who is monogamous but accepting of like this very like non-sexual relationship. The issue is, finding somebody who is accepting of it and is not going to get jealous like Sandra. Trying to pull you back in here, girl.
I'm sorry. I'm so fucking jealous.
No, I don't blame you. Like,
I cannot, like,
I don't think
I'm
I
not,
would be able to do it normally, but I think it's just different for this particular relationship because I'm just like, yeah, I already know she's married. Like, whatever.
see, I'm not to the point where, like, I stop my boyfriend from having female friends. Like, he has female friends. I don't care. Like, but listen, if shit starts going some other fucking way, like, I'm gonna take note. This happened to me already, like, with another relationship.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of mistrust there.
Yeah.
Like, it went down the
Facts.
drain. So yeah, the end of that relationship was not great.
Yeah.
It was like, here's the thing, it wasn't anything physical. It was emotional, and that's what hurt.
Oh,
Because again,
I have to
I have to have an emotional bond with someone for me to even get close.
And for them to form an emotional bond with someone else, that's like a fucking slap in the face.
It was really hurtful. It was really hurtful. And like that's what sucked.
Yeah.
So like, and the trust was just gone, and yeah, I was very down on myself, like, for the whole end of it, and then going through other shit too. But again, like, I felt very broken about it. So
I don't blame you.
that's why I can't do a poly thing, because, like,
And it's
I've
not for
always
everyone.
attached to one person.
Yeah. It's not for everyone, and I understand that too,
But
It's definitely not.
I think it's great, like, because I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with having more people to love. Like, what could be wrong about that?
You just have so much love to share.
Yeah.
The world needs more love.
It really does. Someone
Yeah.
saw my Love Wins mask today, and they were like, I love your mask. Love really does win. And I was like, thank you.
That's so cute.
Okay, we're ready to wrap things up.
Okay.
Yeah?
I think so.
God is so cool. No wonder it's
lagging. It's wrap up time. Do you have anything that you would like to promote? A plug or something? Anything your friends are working on? Small business?
No, I don't think I have anything to plug here.
Wait for the punishment episode. So I forgot to mention in the last episode, but I'll mention it this time. Our intro and outro music is by the lovely Justin Arena. Please check them out on Facebook for local screen printing and music stuff. They're putting out a new album, I believe, soon. They just came out with a new single. Please check them out on Spotify also. You can find us on Instagram at SSABTpodcast, Twitter at SSABTpodcast. Our Facebook page is Sweet Stuff and Bitter Things Podcast. We have merch up on Redbubble. Our tag there is also SSABT Podcast. And we got our first Patreon patron today, lovely Ruby. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ruby.
Yeah, donate to our Patreon page. We will have some. I've been a little slow because we haven't had any patrons yet, but I'm doing bonus episodes this week, editing those down. We have our intro music, and I think we should start doing some recording for spooky game nights and doing like spooky game night reviews nights.
Oh my god, that is
Yeah.
on my alley.
Spooky game night reviews. I think that'd be cool.
Yep, and that'll be available on our Patreon soon.
Yeah. So thank you, Cecil, so much for joining us tonight to
Thank you
talk
for
about these
having me.
things. Yeah.
It was nice having this
Yes.
discussion. It's also been a
Yes.
while since we all talked together.
It has been a
Yes.
long time. Yeah.
Please bring me back for an episode about weebs. I have a lot to say.
Oh, you'll be back.
Oh,
Yeah.
baby. Is that
Um,
like a threat or like?
it's a promise.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Is it a threatening promise?
It is.
Yes.
All right. We're done now.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Get the breathing out of the way because you're
Yeah.
not allowed to breathe after this.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. You have to hold your breath pretty
Aw,
much the
shit.
entire time. This is actually, you know what? Yeah, this is. We can't
This is
just
it.
we can't just segue into BDSM stuff. But if I were to punish you right now, I would just make you hold your breath, like
I mean,
every
like-
time someone else was answering.
that might be up my alley.
All right.
I might like that.
Okay. What if you came back for an episode and I just punished you the whole episode doing weird stuff?
What the fuck am I
Um,
supposed to do?
I
You're
would
gonna
love
help.
that.